Hello, everybody. Welcome to part 3 of the BIPOC business group. The reason I call it that is because I do bring up certain things and certain setbacks and certain parts of adversity with dealing with business and running a business as a person of color. This is actually part 3 of the 10-part series, but I'm going to make videos all throughout. Please check out my other videos. I'm going to have a ton of other stuff. If you don't already follow me on Instagram as well as on YouTube, I'm on there as Taylor Lindsay 323. You can find me. It's Lindsay with an E. So what we're going to get into is actually the last part of the marketing, the free marketing tools, and also low cost, hopefully no cost things that you can do to create content, do different things as far as reach, engagement, branding goes, and also get your brand noticed, and also start to build up a rapport, create a network, create familiarity within your demographic, and ultimately create community. Because the difference between community and audience is that community shows up for each other, not just people showing up for you. If you just want an audience, then this business course is not for you. If you want people just to show up and pull up for you, you can go pay somebody else to do that. But we are creating strings, foundation, solid community together. That's the approach that I have. So if you don't already know, I'm a business owner. I've been running my business for about a little over 2 years now. June of 2022 will be 3 years owning and operating my business. My first year, just to disclose a little bit about my fiscal journey, I only made $40 my first year. And I ended up spending about maybe like $350 to $500. Last year, I spent about $6,200 and made back $4,800. And this year, I'm well on my way to being a $10,000 year business annually, which I'm really, really excited about, because scaling up has not necessarily been tricky, but the things that people told me to do as far as getting help, hiring help, has proven to be absolutely worth it, including paying for advertising and also sponsoring giveaways. So I tell people that all the time. If you want you can keep your business just like a plant, as small as you want it to be. If you want a small cactus, then keep it in a small pot. But if you want a field of cacti for whatever reason, then you need to go pay for that acre of land. That's just what it is. So I'm going to say the terms like you to pay the cost to be the boss and so forth, which is totally fine and absolutely applicable in these situations. But how do we do that when we don't necessarily have the cannabis, the capital? So I'm going to show you and talk to you and also share my experience with those things, because like I said, I started out with little to no money. I've had 2 jobs at all times for the last like 3 or 4 years. So I actually took the leap of faith this year, quit my job to pursue the things that I love to do full time. And so far, so good. It's definitely a leap of faith, but I am currently suspended midair, waiting for my feet to be planted on the ground. So that takes patience as well. I just got done making a reel and then saving that reel and making it into TikTok. I am using a ThinkPad, and it was a gifted computer, which I'm absolutely super grateful for. That's why I talk about the power of community. I'm very grateful. I can make videos. So I can make videos and get the content out there. That's another thing. It does not have to be super polished, but also with some of the money that I garnered from my business and also from community support, I was able to upgrade my phone. I started on my business on an iPhone 6 for the first 13 months. And apparently flip phones are coming back too. So if there's a will, there's a way, I like to say. And I don't want to say I started out with nothing. That is not true. If I say that, I don't want to say I start up from the bottom. I don't want to say that either. I do want to say that I started out as a seed and then have been planted and since been growing for almost the last 3 years. I will say that. And I will definitely not ever say, you will never hear me say I'm self-made. So this is actually an iPhone SE, and I use it for content creation. So let's get into the slides. This one's going to be a little bit shorter. The other videos are about 1 hour 45 minutes. This one is 30, should be about 30 or 40 minutes, if not less. I did have to do an introduction, and we're just going to get right into it. So we're going to where we left off at, we were talking about marketing and different tools. So we're just going to jump right into where I left off. Let me get full screen for y'all, and then we'll get into it. So the last one, I did show y'all different things that I've done. Excuse me. Can we just okay, I need to move my face. and then we can go full screen. Well, that's doing what it wants to do right now. Oh, here we go. There we are. Okay. So last time we did talk about briefly, pause, please go back. Thank you. This is doing what it wants to do today. So last time we did, let's see. We did talk about social media to check how you are, if you are a shadow banned. Also there we go, I fixed it. Also, just basic marketing tools and tips, how to get your name out there, what to do, what not to do, making business cards. So now we're going to talk a little bit more about what money we spend and the tools we use, the both free tools and the paid tools, to get more brand recognition, create a digital space, establish ourselves on different platforms. So I do want to say, though, I'm on the following 5 platforms. I'm going to put my link tree in the description box below so you can see all the platforms that I have a presence on. Yes, it did take time, but I have yet to outsource anybody with a social media manager. Social media managers, as well as event coordinators, cost a good amount of money. I do those things myself, but I don't reach out to brands necessarily. I mostly help small businesses and also local businesses in LA. And if you have the money to do so, more power to you. And I strongly suggest having somebody manage your social media with successes in tow. But for myself, I had to learn these things on my own. Now I get to teach y'all for free, which I'm really excited about. And with that being said, we're going to jump right into the free tools. So on the left, you can see there's free tools. On the right, you can see there's paid tools. So in this case, we're going to go right into the free tools. So these are examples of the kind of content, though, I did use when I first started gaining a lot more notoriety with my plant plug page. 2 years ago, I had only 99 followers. Now I'm almost at 4,000. The better quality my content became, the more people did follow me, because my stuff was receiving a lot more notoriety, attention, and engagement. Not to say that super polished stuff doesn't have to be polished in order to get the same impact. That's not necessarily true. It just means that you don't have to have the perfect press release. You don't have to have the perfectly edited photos. You don't have to be a perfect weight, shape, or size, or have models in your stuff in order to get the type of notoriety that you want, unless you want an audience like that. So free tools, depending on what you do, but this is usually applicable for almost everybody except for people that sell food, are sales marketplaces. And also, I do want to say there are typos in this. I did make this in a hurry a while ago, and I am resharing this with a lot more context, calmness, and detail. And with that being said, if you are a big stickler for typos, as if you can't get past the fact that one word is misspelled, then you won't want to follow this course either, because there are minor typos. I did make this content for free. I'm not under any contractual obligation to make sure that everything is spelled 100% correctly. This is all about getting the message out for me, and also about explaining things in full context with thorough accessibility and sharing my resources. So if you are selling any type of wares, get presence on sales marketplaces. You can do that. You don't have to be a licensed business owner in order to do that. You just actually, some businesses are doing ghost kitchens now and doing a rebranding so they can sell the same products to people at a wider audience, and also for a different price. Denny's was doing that. They were doing ghost kitchens and they're selling the regular burgers. So you can get on Facebook marketplaces, which is actually still really huge. You can get on OfferUp. You can get on Mercari. You can get on Depop for fashion. You can get on Etsy. So get on those free sales marketplaces. If you have stuff that is a lot more aesthetic and easier to ship, create a presence on Pinterest. Those are free tools for us. Another thing, like I said, Poshmark, Etsy, they do have low fees when you sell, when they make a sale through you, because they are hosting, but a 5% fee, a 3.5% fee is not huge if you can take and expand your reach to somewhere like London or New York and you're from Los Angeles. Just saying. Another thing, when it comes to education, free education is everything. Did you know that there is actually, I'll also put the link in the description box, there is something called Google Digital Garage. Google Digital Garage can actually give you certifications in anything from digital media marketing and other technology-based skill sets. And once you complete these courses, they are 40 hours though, at least, you can get a certificate as well as list those things on your resume when it comes to your education. Yes, it is legitimately recognized. Google Digital Garage is free. And then also you can do like YouTube University or Udemy or anything like that. If you want to pay for your education, more power to you. I'm not super anti-ebook and anti-course and anti-coach. I think that everybody needs coaching. Everybody needs to still dive into books. But I will say, I just don't like the direction that I've seen things go in since the pandemic. And a lot of people were left hanging after they bought the ebooks and the courses. And also a lot of them lacked major context and application. Like, okay, we'll talk about stocks, we'll talk about business, but now what? How did you get where you're at? What's good with that? And they don't really tell you. Well, that's what I've come across. I've only come across maybe 2 people from all, I've spent about $1,200 in ebooks and e-courses over the course of the initial shutdown back in 2020. And I'll tell you, like only like 2 out of like a dozen people actually help me accelerate and get to the next level, get to the next chapter when it comes to developing business and getting financial literacy established. Next would be public domain items. So a couple of things that you need to know too is we'll talk about this in licensing and contracts, which I'm going to cover later on. Legal matters. Do not use stuff that's not yours on public sites, especially if you're trying to make money. You can get sued, you can get flagged, you can have your accounts removed, you can get blacklisted in more extreme cases. Do not do that. Plagiarism is a big problem. So also comes logos, art protection, copyright, registered trademark, all that. I had to fight for my name too. We'll get into that later. But public domain items, I don't even think people know what that is, or let alone look in that direction. So with YouTube, say if you want music in the background, you can get license-free music. Christmas music. The reason why everybody and their mom has a Christmas album out, by the way, if you're a musician and you want to maybe get a little bit more traction, put out a Christmas album. So many Christmas songs are public domain, meaning that they have no copyright attached to them. They don't belong to anybody's estate. Use them. There's public domain, free domain music that you can use. You won't get flagged on YouTube if you want to add music to your content. Even when it comes to logos and backgrounds, I actually released a book 3 years ago. I self-published it, and I knew about public domain or license-free use. So I found out a license-free art piece. It was outer space, and I did credit the person that made it, but they made it free to use. So please look into things like that, especially if you don't want to pay anything for making certain parts of your content. Another thing is YouTube videos. Now, I tried to send people to as many unbiased sources as possible, especially when it comes to financial things. Be mindful of where you're getting your YouTube information from. Some people are not transparent with, 1, their credentials, and also 2, if they do have links in their description box of whether or not they get paid for it. I don't think it might be SEC or the FTC, which is the Federal Trade Commission. By law, if you get any money from any type of links being hit in your description box, you have to tell people. Yes, some of the links in my description box does give me like $5 if you sign up, but there are also things that I do myself. But people don't disclose their credentials. I do want to let you know, I do not have a degree in business. I just run and own a business in Los Angeles. That's it. And I'm also a big consumer, and I love getting cash back and freebies. But I will say that a lot of people don't. Only 1 in 10 influencers disclose their credentials. And also they might be trying to push you in a certain direction. So take things in with a grain of salt, take things in and proceed with caution. And also, nobody should ever be asking you for credit cards, social security numbers, or telling you that something's free when it's not. A lot of people don't read the terms and user agreements, which can get you in a lot of trouble because your information is being sold. So there's a lot of great things that you can get from YouTube, but please take what you need and leave the rest, and proceed with caution, okay? Another thing is creating email lists. Another thing you can do for free. MailChimp and other websites do create emails for you when you do host a website through them, but that can cost anywhere from $30 to $50 a month. But if you don't have it, you can actually create an email list and a newsletter and create a template on your own through something like Canva and just do the emailing yourself until you can get to a place where you can have those systems automated. That way you can create you can create content and send it directly to the people that subscribe to you, as don't spam them. We talked about not spamming in the last video, but also in case like Instagram or Facebook, something like that shuts down, or one of your accounts gets banned, you still have a direct channel away from these other social media platforms to talk directly to your clients, potential customers, and the other people that are part of your community. Next is Adobe Spark. So a lot of people can't afford Photoshop. I myself being one of those people, these video editing programs, I outsource my video making now, very, very expensive, like Final Cut Pro, things like that. I understand it's definitely an investment, but do you need that from the start? No, you don't. Unless you're a YouTuber from 2008, you don't need that. You do not need that right now. Because you still have to build your following. And as you scale up, as you generate more revenue, then of course, buy these things. But also, if you have the money to do it right now, go for it. And then if you could take like that $800 a year subscription and turn it into something like 8,000, then more power to you. Yes, I hope that's happening for everybody watching this video. Next are Twitter. Next are Twitter crops. That is another type of free tool that you can use. It's actually very, very popular for content creation. People love to repost retweets. Right now is the red flag trends. I'm not really a fan of that trend, but I will say that cropping, reposting, super easy to reshare. That's something else you can do. And also make sure you're utilizing those hashtags. Like I said, we're going to get into deep detail, like really deep dive in another video about what every single platform wants and what they reward, and also what garners engagement. We are going to get into that. So Twitter crops. Next is Instagram stories and reels. Oh, I misspelled stories. My goodness. And I misspelled media. Okay, so Instagram stories and reels. So we all know what's going on with that. And I made this before I got on TikTok. So I have more followers on TikTok now than I do on Instagram, but I have more engagement and interaction on Instagram than I do on TikTok. So TikTok does pay you once you get 10,000 followers from the creator fund, and Instagram doesn't pay you at all. But TikTok has the most followers and the most concentrated use at the fastest growth rate of any other social media platform right now. And Instagram is scared. They are tied. 1 billion active users. Okay. They are tied. So Instagram is really trying to step it up. And I will say, I am very impressed with the new things that Instagram is doing. They're late, but they're creating pages that are following trends that TikTok has already had as a trend for like the last 3-4 weeks, and trends come and go. Instagram's still behind, but the only thing that Instagram doesn't have popping for them is that they don't pay their creators. I don't know what to say about that, but also learn stories, learn how to make reels. My first reels were looking really bumpy and basic, and then I got better at it the more I practiced it. Okay, so those are the free ones. So I will tell you, like I did in the last video, stop changing your logo. So on the very top corner, we have the black Plant Plug logo. I'm actually wearing a Plant Plug shirt. This is the OG shirt. And then I have the Plant Plug LA. So just to let you know, if you ever make a logo through Canva, if you use their elements, technically you cannot sell them and you do not own them. All items that you use on Canva, including their backgrounds, their templates, and also their images, not your images, their images belong to Canva, and you can get sued for that, especially if you're trying to do like a t-shirt style business. So please keep it in mind. Yes, this is a template through Canva, the original OG logo. That's why I did not sell these shirts. I gave these shirts away as gifts. Now on the top corner is I also showed people this logo as well, so they're familiar with it. I will no longer be using the older logo. I will be sticking to the newer logo because nobody technically owns emojis. Every single, like when it comes to Instagram, Apple, Android, Samsung are the top 3 like uses of the emoji, but nobody owns the ideas of emojis. So I am free to use it. Okay. So then we're going to move over to the paid tools. So these pictures are both me, obviously, on the right side. Both were commissioned from photographers. The one with the flower in my hair, that is Last Adam 3. I will put his page in my description box as well. If anybody wants to use him, great, amazing LA-based photographer, just does just beautiful videos. We actually shot this in Inglewood, and then on right next to it, that is from Morganized Photos. Morgan Coffee, I will also put her info in the description box. Also amazing LA-based photographer straight out of Compton, and she just really knows how to bring your stuff to life, especially if you're like a musician. Just Rolling Stone style photography. I am not making this up. I was very blessed to work with both of them when everybody was super new in their careers, and I'm just here to network and put good people in connection with other good people. So this is another thing too. A photo shoot, make sure to take photos. If you're taking photos for a business, know the difference. So I have these two pictures in the center for a reason. At the top is the homegirl. She modeled for me for a video and for a photo shoot, and I used that to promote like t-shirts and different giveaways, and also it was sunflower season. She looks real cute. And at the bottom is me. So this is actually the same photo shoot. You can see the difference in what the things are giving, as far as she is more cute, kawaii, glamour, and she's obviously modeling the shirt. You can really tell. And me at the bottom, that looks more like a professional shot. So just remember, when you are taking photos, what you want to go for. And usually with clients, I suggest two things. Either get somebody that knows how to shoot product and do a whole product photo shoot, so your website can look sharp, your Instagram can look sharp, and then get some professional shots. I like general looking professional shots. I don't like them to look super professional all times, but I like to keep these things ready to go, because whenever somebody reaches out to me, I'll be like, here, hey, we need a photo. I was actually, right after I did this course, I was approached by Voyage LA and also Shout Out LA Magazine, and they're like, well, we can't send out a photographer due to coronavirus, but do you have any professional shots? Yeah, I do. I had all these shots from, these are just 3 different photographers. This cost me about, let's see, each was $150. So 150 times 3, $450. And I have dozens of professional photos now, and they're sharp and they're clean. I can reuse them over and over again. I still look like that. And my logo hasn't changed. My business hasn't changed, and they all have elements of plants in them. So just try to do that when it comes to paying for photos to be done. Now, and remember, ask to see somebody's portfolio, just like a tattoo. I've worked with somebody that I would not work again with professionally, as far as photos being taken, because the photos didn't come out how I wanted them to. I had a full vision. Professionalism is really, really important to me. So is timing and punctuality, as well as look at their photos too. Know the difference between candids and also just people actually taking still shots of you. Look at their stuff too. Just because they have a camera doesn't mean that they're going to be good with it and give you what you want. But also, please be kind to the photographers and have a concept ready for them before you book them, or when you book them, as well as, if they're going to create a concept for you, pay them for also making a concept for you. Content development is, if you already know, especially if you're watching this, is painstaking and it can be very tedious. And because of that, we want to pay our creators. We want to pay the people that are putting things together for us, and we want to pay them a living wage. No, and if you're not in that place to do so yet, that's okay. You will get there. Next is, like I said, product highlights. You can also learn with your phone how to take product appropriate photos. And when I say product appropriate, I mean stuff that's really highlighting the product to where I'm not confused trying to figure out what kind of coffee cup you're selling, or why is there a coffee cup in the shot and you sell plants. So we want to highlight those products. There are photographers out there that shoot that specifically. Next is commercials. If you ever want to shoot a commercial, whether it be 15 seconds, 30 seconds, 3 minutes, hire somebody to shoot a commercial for you. Actually, I'll list in the description all the photographers in LA that I've ever worked with. And then you can look at my other videos. I'll also link all 3 of my commercials that I've done in the description box below if you want to check out the commercials I've had made. I haven't spent more than $150 on a commercial yet. Which I'm really, really grateful for. Am I expecting to only pay that to people? No, I want to pay people more and more and more, because I want to get bigger and better too. I want the people that I work with to grow alongside me. If I eat, we're all going to eat. Next, hiring models and influencers. So she right here, she was paid. I did pay her for the day. It was a 4-hour shoot and I paid her $75 for the shoot for the day. So, you know, just be flexible. Always offer somebody something. If people are just on a cold no, that is such a red flag for don't work with people. People can afford something. Like, dang, like if it's not lunch, you know, pay for your travel, pay for your gas. People can afford something. I understand gas is $5 a gallon right now, but you can kick down some gallons, sir. Don't be cheap. It's very unbecoming. Next, auditors. So auditors would be somebody that looks over your page, looks at your placement when it comes to SEO. SEO is search engine optimization. Auditors will basically let you know what you can do with your page profile and how you can bump that up. Next is running ads. Now, running ads is kind of an intricate process in my experience because you want to know your demographic and you want to know who you're showing your stuff to. Now, I did win a contest through Spectrum Reach, through Spectrum Cable for running ads. And fortunately enough, I was gifted $15,000 in ad revenue. That resulted in 3 clients, which is totally fine. But imagine if you did that in real life, you know, and it wasn't a contest, then, you know, that would have been a big loss for me because also I didn't understand it, but you know, they did everything for me and I better understand the process now and what to look for. But nonetheless, I wouldn't do that on my own, but I'm very grateful for that opportunity. Next is commercial production. So like I said, if you get into bigger things, rather than having a single photographer there to shoot your videos, you could have a key grip, you can have a boom mic guy, you can have the whole production, sound mixing and editing. And next thing you know, you got $1,000 ad. And then with the right math, yes, you do put down 15,000, but that 15,000 turns into 100,000. There's a way to make that happen. Next is Canva Pro. So when it comes to certain things, you can actually pay for the Pro. Usually it's cheaper when you pay for the whole year up front and you get a lot more access to make a lot more different content. If you want to do that, I strongly suggest it. I had Canva Pro on accident. They accidentally charged me when I canceled my subscription. It was years ago, but it opened up so many other amazing tools that I can use. Also Photoshop, another amazing thing. Once you learn Photoshop, the creativity and the stuff that you can make is endless. And for me, what I do pay for as of now, right now, I only pay for Videorama. I'm gonna show you that. So it's a video based app to where you can chop and screw videos. I pay $10 a month for this. So yeah, that's what I'm currently paying for. I don't really pay a lot for production. I'm just trying to get more equipment and then go from there. Cause I did release the podcast, which is also paid for with everything. And I'm just trying to minimize my spending at this point, cut the budget. So lastly, we're actually going to wrap the video with this. Like I said, this is a much shorter video. And these are the examples of content that I'm talking to you about. So when it comes to different things, I'll tell you how different things worked. And also I'm going to tell you how to format things for different types of social media platforms. So remember I told you this Twitter screenshot? So this is it right here. The excuse me, I have to wash your hair. Make a tweet, make sure your name is in it and screenshot it. Boom, you have a type of content. Everybody does this. And you yourself have probably shared a Twitter repost, okay? You can put a background on it if you want to and make it look pretty, or you could just leave it plain white, plain black, dark mode, you know, and just put it on your Instagram. Or you could also stays great on Twitter. Now you have a presence on Instagram and Twitter with just one post, and you can also put it on Facebook. There are 3 different platforms taken out with one post. Another thing is my logo. So the reason why this is this shape, because this is actually the banner. One thing that I tell clients to do too is make sure that, especially when you're creating a profile, is if the profile uses circular avatars, make sure that your image is not either cut off, and also make sure that you format it as a circle. Because what happens is, if I was to take this this rectangle right here and put it on Instagram, it's gonna get cut out. So I reformatted it to shape like a circle, and that way your avatar and my logo fits in that circle, and it's also very clear what it is. Next, on the right is me sitting in a throne. This was also shot by Morganized Photos. This is a glamour shot. People love polish and glamour. And usually this gets me about 200 to 300 likes, which is 10% of my audience. And it gets me a lot of comments. It gets me a couple profile clicks, but when it comes to engagement, people really love polish and shine. I do it every now and then. Next on the right is one of my professional shots. And the thing about this shot is you notice that it's transparent in the background. So one thing that you can do, I'll put also this website in the description box, is get accustomed to making your own content from scratch, especially if you're not well-versed in Photoshop, with something like it's called BG background remover. You take any image, it removes the background, and then it becomes a transparent, you download it, and you can add it to anything. I could put this everywhere. Actually, if you follow my YouTube already, if you look in the home banner, which I also fitted an avatar for, you will see that there's me and I took the background out. You can do it with anything and it's free to use because on Canva, they actually charge you for Canva Pro if you want to remove the background. Next is Bitmoji. That's me chilling, sitting on a cloud. I wish I was doing that right now, but I have to work. Bitmoji, super popular for making content. Actually, you could take this little Bitmoji, make your own person. You can download it. They are downloaded transparent, so they do have a clear background, and you could take and put that on something like a Twitter post. You could put it on any post you want and it's yours, but can you sell it on t-shirts and other merchandise? No, you cannot. You cannot. Next is everybody else's favorite. If you have an Apple, if you don't, I'm sorry, but all these other things you can use if you have a Droid. But if you have an Apple phone, people love the meme emojis. Super popular way to make content, especially if you're the face of your own company, or if you don't want to put your actual face there, you can use a meme emoji modeled after you to put on your content. And lastly, this is another banner. This is a banner that I made, and also it can double as a business card. It's on some of my YouTube content. I also use it when I do presentations. This photo was actually taken by Milkit Media. She's amazing with taking headshots, photo shoots for clothing. She does amazing boudoir. I don't know if people still do boudoir. They did in my day. Boudoir shots, and also incredible at family portraits. So if you need and also does a great layout of a website layout of your photos once you want to see your portfolio. So if you want to utilize her services, I will also put her in the description box below. So yeah, that is the gist of this video. I want to thank everybody for being a part of this video as far as content creation goes. We're going to close this photos and then we're going to stop sharing. And then we're back. Hi, here I am. So yeah. If you have any questions about anything that I did post about the free content creation tools and creation tips, I just gave you 7 different ways you can make free content, as well as paid ways that you can utilize your money and also scale up. You want to leverage that money that either you break even, to me, because breaking even is winning, as far as getting more stuff made with the little capital that you have. Remember, I started this business with about $350. So, and we're going in chronological order with how things can be done. And I'm showing you everything. And I'm also sharing my resources, and I'm sharing my network with you. So anybody that's LA based, please reach out to these people. They're amazingly talented individuals. Sorry, I glitched for a second. And I just want to make sure that people are successful and are on the track of getting to where they want to be. Another thing is, remember, there's a lot of ebb and flow in the game, a lot of up and down. This is not a linear path. It's not straight A through Z consistently. Sometimes there's hard pauses. Life comes up, life shows up, but you can keep going when you can keep going. You know what I'm saying? It's not just rise and grind all the time, hustle and motivate, super down discipline. It's not like that all the time. Apparently there's a party in the background. All right, y'all. So I will see you on part 4, which is going to be a week from now. Please like and subscribe and share with somebody who cares to start and run their own business or talks about that dream. And let's make it a reality. So thank you for following. Thank you for watching the video, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace. That's it. That's a wrap. Cut it off. Stop recording.